Hey guys, it's Liz. Welcome to part 3 of my Pride drawing series. Today we will be drawing the B for bisexual, and this one is my favorite so far, I think, because just the girl came out really cute and the colors are really nice, and I had a lot of fun with this drawing. I'm not exactly sure why I didn't record the audio at least in the same week that I drew this, because I was kind of on a roll I was on a roll last week, so I don't know why I didn't get this section of the video done, because clearly I already had good content recorded, so why do I not have good audio recorded? And I could have just talked about all the things I got done, but that was a long time ago. So now I have to talk to you about my bisexual blog post that I'm getting ready to work on. I was having a hard time finding artists that identified explicitly with the bisexual label. I don't know why. You would think that most artists are bisexual, but then you look at historical artists and they either didn't say, or they didn't prefer a label, or they preferred gay when they had relationships with men and women. It was so wishy-washy and weird, so I had a lot of difficulty actually picking out artists for this. And there is some good, though, because I went out on a limb, I put myself out there, made myself known, and I asked a YouTuber if I can interview him for this article, because something that I have done so far is write about mostly artists that have already died, because it's supposed to be art history, and then end it off with an artist that is still alive so that anyone who reads it can check them out and support an artist before they leave us, so that they can be a part of history and say, ha, I knew this artist when they were alive. It doesn't matter if they were popular before then, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited to have that interview tomorrow, because I think I can get a lot of really good information, and it just helps me a lot, because as far as internet clout is concerned, I'm a nobody. So the fact that, I mean, obviously he seems like a cool dude who's like really down to earth to begin with, but it's still nice. It's still nice to not be considered spam the second I talk to somebody, because I feel like as far as my internet fame goes, like, no one's heard of me yet. No one knows who I am, so I have to get past this underlying fear that I will be perceived as a spam message. So as long as I come off as down to earth, I feel like I can get away with it, and I am just so grateful that I was able to get the information that I did, because he's a really good artist, and I'm a huge fan. And because I had to put together an interview, and obviously interview questions as a result, I figured, why am I not using these questions that I'm researching as jumping off points for my own art, or for my own audio? So I put together just a few questions to ask, because I've always wanted to be interviewed. Obviously, everyone has this dream of being interviewed. You always want to be that celebrity, right? So I just decided to interview myself for this video. Haha. But the first one that I have is, professionally, what is my goal? My goal as an artist is to receive at least somewhat regular commissions. I would like to be able to support myself off an artistic career, if possible. That would be so amazing, because everyone my whole life told me that I can't do it. And it would be really nice to actually come around to proving them wrong, because I feel like I let that get to me a lot. And I would like to also just prove to myself that my art is valued to an audience that is willing to support me. I think it would be really nice. So professionally, I would like to have any artistic career, whatever that turns out to be in the future, whether it's commissions or selling web comics. I don't know how to sell a web comic exactly, but you know what I mean. And then the second question that I have is, what is your dream project? I have had this dream of mine to be a concept artist before. I always thought it was because, based off my skill set, I am very good at fleshing out characters. I have several OCs that maybe I can draw for you guys in future videos. But I really love exploring character design, and that is something that I tend to do because I don't spend enough time on backgrounds. I don't spend a whole lot of time drawing technical stuff. I really just do characters, and maybe that's a flaw of mine, but it's still an area of interest that I feel like concept art can provide the best. So being able to be basically the artist behind a video game or a movie or something, that would be really interesting. I also like the idea of having my own comic or graphic novel. I am able to flesh out a character pretty well. I still have plenty of time to figure out exactly how far I would like to take projects, because I really do enjoy smaller projects. I create my own art challenges, so if I was able to create a challenge that becomes more popular, that other people try for themselves and share, whether or not I take credit for it, I don't really care about that part. I just want to have some sort of influence. I don't really need my name on it, I don't think. And then the last one I have is, what is my scariest experience? And that was kind of off the wall because it's not really art related, for me at least. I don't have an art related answer to this question because I never really let art scare me. But in high school, I was in a public speaking class. So obviously my scariest experience is that whole class. Oh my god. But because I'm so scared of public speaking, I would have to practice so much harder than I assume everyone else did, because you could tell that some people just went up there, winged it, made an A, who cares? Like, they just live in the spotlight and it's not a big deal for them. And I am exactly not that. Clearly, I can't just wing it. And maybe I'm missing something and nobody can. And I'm just not seeing all of the layers that people put into their own public speaking abilities. But in particular, the scariest experience I had in that class was when the teacher assigned us to actually discuss a controversial topic. And we got to pick our topic, mind you. So why would I not take advantage of this platform? Obviously, I did my pro-choice speech. I was so terrified to death. I don't even remember what other people's speeches were, but I remember practicing the hell out of my speech and just giving that diction, making sure that my speech was organized. That's something that I'm really good at doing, is actually organizing the things I'm supposed to say, maybe not delivering. That's something that I still need practice at least for now. That's my biggest concern. But then I don't even remember what other people talked about, because they kind of didn't take advantage of this opportunity. One girl did have a speech about banning pit bulls, and she was against that because they're sweet animals. And then there was the guy who did the pro-life speech, and it sucked ass. All of his speeches sucked ass. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Another speech that I did for that class was actually, the most topical one. I did a Black Lives Matter speech when it was still just a concept and it was still a hashtag. I did a speech about how the police methods were unethical. I think the topic was information, and I just spent my however many minutes informing people that the protesters were largely peaceful and they deserved to be heard, and that using tear gas is a war crime. And at the time, that was a very controversial thing to give a speech on. It still is. Something that I've noticed a change in, though, maybe it's because I no longer live in a dumb hick town, but people are at least willing to admit that there is a problem, whereas back then, everyone else was just so gung-ho about the cops. Like, they did not even think that a police officer could do anything wrong. And I gave that speech anyway, because I knew it was what I believed in. It wasn't cool yet, and I guess I don't think that was my start as some sort of political advocate. I think I've always been kind of political. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's interesting about that speech, because I was very proud of myself for delivering it. One girl in particular said that they should just get over it. Like, those were her words. Like, she thought we shouldn't care because it was just one person that got killed. And I went up in front of everyone and said, hold on, sister. That is not the case. And I basically gave that class what for. I think everyone hated me, and I don't care. I specifically don't have my senior yearbook, the one that I actually did, because I don't want to know any of those people. I'm not super tied down to my high school, and I guess that's a positive for me. I feel like that's a plus side to my life, is that I did not peak in high school, and maybe that's a gay thing, and that's something that I'm proud of, is that I didn't let my high school years, something that I'm proud of is the fact that because high school is so comparable to prison, I learned pretty quickly that it doesn't really matter who your friends are. All it matters is staying out of trouble until you get out. And if I had any advice to the younger generation, I guess that's what I would give to them. Maybe not stay out of trouble, per se, but don't worry about... People are going to tell you to worry about things that ultimately will not matter. You have to decide pretty early on what matters to you, and I feel like this generation is doing pretty good at that. Keep fighting, because this is not over. And I appreciate you listening, because we are at the end of the video. I had a lot of fun drawing this, and I will have this posted on my blog so that you can get a better look at it, along with my other previous art pieces if you are interested. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to check out my blog, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks. Bye-bye.